everyone, it's Catherine, and today's video is all about how to get internships and campus jobs and make money in college, because I have gotten quite a lot of feedback from you all that is something you want to see from me. I have a campus job. I'm obviously working with YouTube, and I've also had one internship. So I do have some experience with this. I've gone to a lot of different career sessions. I'm a business major, so I have a lot of exposure to this concept, and I'm going to try to give you the best tips, best advice possible so that you can find the campus job or the internship that you really want during college. So I would say step number one is, at a baseline, take just one step a day towards growing yourself professionally. So that could be anything from going on campus to some sort of career event, or emailing someone in a position you really want to try to get an informational interview. I have a video all about interviewing up, or even just reading a news article on the industry you want to get into. So something like that that's really building your professional repertoire. So with that, if you're taking one action a day, you definitely don't want to forget any of that. So you really need to track all that stuff. I'm big about writing stuff down. My Google Calendar is chock full of stuff. So if you like to use a passion planner or a Google Calendar or an Excel sheet or anything like that, please track like all the people you've talked to, or all the steps you've made, or all the growth you've made, or the sessions, what you've learned. All of that needs to be really documented so you can look back on that resource when you're going into the job search. It's really there so you can follow up with people and follow up on your goals. So if you check back in a couple of months and you haven't made any more progress towards building up your LinkedIn profile, like go back and do that. If you haven't said thank you to the person for having an interview with you, please do that. So all that will be loaded there. That way you have less accountability on yourself to just remember it, and it's all just written out for you. So all of that is in preparation to have you search for your job or internship or part-time job, any of that. And that is the fun part, finding something that appeals to you, that sounds really fun and engaging, whether you feel like you are qualified for it or not. So there are, of course, an abundance of ways to do this. You can always look at your college or school's career center. A lot of times they'll have jobs, and whether they're on campus or internships. I know my career center is very involved in that. You can also go on career sites like Career Contessa, which I really recommend for women especially. But the best way I have found so far is a site called WayUp. So WayUp actually contacted me, and I was so excited to hear about that resource because I had been waiting to make this video until I could give you all a real concrete and comprehensive way to go into the job search, because I can't just say go to your career center, because your career center might have a varying amount of resources, but WayUp is school-wide, so across the country, whatever school you're at, you just log in and sign up, and I will have the link down below. Please sign up through that, and it'll launch you right into a huge portal of just tons and tons of companies. So the best part about this site is that it's already something you know how to do, because it's structured a lot like the Common App, which is how you applied to college. So now you're in college, you use a Common App-like site called WayUp, and you can apply to jobs. So it has the portal with all the jobs. It'll say whether you're just going to be a brand ambassador to the school, which means you're probably going to get a lot of really good goodies and stuff like that, or you could get an internship, which would be more of like an actual professional thing to put on your resume, or you could be a campus job, which is really just to keep your income flowing in. So they have all those opportunities. They have places like Google, like Starbucks, like Disney, which I'm very excited about. I think they said Red Bull, Uber I've seen on there. So there are a bunch of different opportunities, especially if you like startups. There are a ton of startup opportunities countrywide, and the site is maintained and monitored, and you really only have to do like one click. So once you upload your resume and you fill out all your information, you just one click apply, and I think the rate is something like 30% hiring, which they don't really even tell you the rate for other sites, which means that this site must be very good. So if you are struggling to find something to apply to but really want to, please go check out WayUp. They also sent me an awesome college box full of goodies. I'll just show you some of the stuff they sent, because you'll all be eligible to get one of these boxes if you sign up in the link I put in the down bar to just get an account on WayUp, and it legitimately took me like 2.5 minutes to do. And you could be entered, you will automatically be entered to win one of these things, and then just comment down below once you've done so. First of all, they sent me this amazingly soft WayUp shirt. So amazing. They have tons of snacks. Oh my god, there's a Chipotle gift card in here. They have like a little notebook. They have socks, popcorn, because we all have microwaves in our dorms and everything. Oh, like jewelry. Oh, these are temporary tattoos. All right, like flash tats. Sunglasses, alright, so there you go, just tons of awesome stuff and other resources to go to that love college kids. So WayUp is really designed for college students, whereas some other sites might be more for professionals that are looking to change careers. And I know LinkedIn is kind of hard to find actual jobs on, but WayUp is the way to go, as far as I'm concerned. So definitely, as I said, everything's in the down bar. Check that out, sign up. It's so easy, and you can just click and apply to a bunch of jobs and see what happens as they get back to you and choose between them. So that's what I'm really happy about as far as the job search process goes. So then once you've identified the places you would love to work for, now it's really time to set yourself up professionally. You've been taking those steps every single day, but now it's time to really revamp all of your professional information and files and everything. So go through your LinkedIn, make sure it's really well groomed, everything's up to date, your skills are in there, you've really been adding people consciously, joining groups and everything. Go through your resume and make sure your resume, at the bare minimum, that the format and everything is consistent, because they don't want to see that you've used different fonts and have wrong spellings or the dates don't all line up. So make sure everything's like aligned and formatted correctly, because that can be an instant no. If it doesn't look like you put effort into it, they don't even read it and they could just throw you out. So just at the bare minimum, make sure the format's really consistent. You also might want to look at your email signature that you send out through your school email or professional email, and have your name in there, your phone number in there, your LinkedIn linked, which school you go to, your major, your graduation year. Just like a little, you can put it on Gmail, it's automatic. You can look in settings and it'll just put it on the bottom of every single email. That way it looks like people will have a lot more information to look at and can contact you again in other ways if they want to. Also, something I'd never thought about that a recruiter told me the other week was to make sure your voicemail is right. Like, I don't think I've honestly updated it since like 8th or 9th grade, so it's really young. So go through and make sure your voicemail tone, like the thing that people reach when you don't pick up, is professional and updated. In general, if you want to check up on how you're doing reputation-wise online, just Google yourself and go to like the 7th or 8th page of tabs, because recruiters may or may not do that, and you want to make sure that you're looking good on your social media platforms. Delete stuff that looks bad. It really shouldn't be up there in the first place, because apparently, and I've never verified this, but apparently once it's on the internet, it's on there forever. So even if you delete it, there's still ways to find it. Not sure how tech-savvy companies can be, but just try to monitor what you're posting and delete stuff that doesn't really reflect well on you, or private things, anything like that. Make sure you're consistent when people search for your name. So now that your image and reputation's all together, you want to make sure that you have the qualifications, the skills, the experience, so that you can actually get that job, not just interview for it. And it seems like in college you have this kind of vicious cycle where you can't get a job without experience, but you also can't get the experience until you get a job. So there are some ways to kind of go around it, and I would say to get experience, you can also gain experience by researching a lot and looking at all the articles and all the data written on that company. You can also talk to people at that company, email connections you may have with another person, ask around, and find people at the company that can tell you more about that role, or talk to people, anyone else in that role that you're interviewing for, to see if you can pick up some really good stuff to throw in your interview for. You also might want to work on something tangible you can show them. So for me, if they're like, how are you good at digital media? How do you know marketing? I have my YouTube channel right there. I can link it to them, show them how I'm doing my graphic design, how I'm doing my marketing, all of that is something tangible. So you could start a blog, or you could even, if you get assigned a school project, do a research report on something, on their budget or their economics or whatever major you are. You can try to find the company that you're applying into and try to do the project on them, or try to do it on that industry, and skew things so that you have as much possible experience as you can towards that job for when you interview for it. And then once they actually select you, whether it's through the WayUp portal, or you just get an email and someone says you've made it through to the interview round after you've submitted some sort of application, your resume, that's where you really have to start preparing for the interview. And I would love to talk about all of that, but I actually already did in another video, so I'll have that linked up here for to check out if you're worried about the interview part of it and you're already at that stage. But for those of you that aren't at the interview stage, hopefully this information really helped you. I'm going to put an abundance of links in the description to career sources you can look at, to articles written, and just in general, if you want any other professional advice, look up my college playlist. I have a lot of ideas about how to get involved in college. You can also build up your resume. So of course, you'll always have this video to look back on. So subscribe if you want to have some sort of way to go back and find me, and like if you really enjoyed my tips. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching, and Katherout.